Battlers, and welcome to the G'day Battlers podcast. I am Debbie Pebble, and we have our co-host PvP Steve, but not quite a co-host today. It is episode 49. We're in the Roads to Worlds edition of the podcast, and I guess this is the first time we're interviewing Steve. Welcome, Steve.
You say the first time. We have done it about 5 episodes in a row. So maybe we've covered all the ground we need to cover. I mean, you know, we're going to go through in the next few episodes of the Road to World series, talking to each of the world's qualifiers from the Oceanic region, just as we've done in previous seasons. But I mean, Debbie, what more is there to know, really? I mean, I think I've talked about everything that needs to be talked about.
Tell me about your PvP journey and how it all started.
No, thanance. So we're going to skip that this week.
How about your Sylph journey and how you were second in the world for Sylphs at one point on the little leaderboard?
That's true. Maybe I need to edit one of my scripts. I forgot about that detail. But yeah, nope, skip, pass. Lame,
how
move
about
on.
coming second in Johannesburg or third in Durban?
Yep, go to youtube.com/@G'dayBattlers. You'll be able to find hours of material on just those things. So.
And how about claiming some extra points in Auckland to make it for that travel award for LAIC coming up in the next season?
Durban episode. Actually, maybe it's the NAIC episode. Oh, it was one of them. It was in there. Just go find it.
And how about NAIC and not getting any points?
Okay, well, okay. I mean, you're not wrong, but also there's a 3 hour 8 minute version of that exact 2 lines, which I guess you can skip the episode now. You've got the cliff notes.
And how are you preparing for Worlds?
I'm not. All right, are we done? Is that
and random question of the day? What did you have for breakfast?
For breakfast, I woke up really late, and so I had an up and go. Strawberry, obviously, and 2 pieces of peanut butter toast. All right, are we done?
Was it sourdough?
Yeah, homemade sourdough. Let's go.
Well done. Wow.
Okay,
that's a faster interview than the Yakko one.
I don't know if that's entirely true. I mean, actually, is it true? Because we did ramble a lot in that one, to be fair.
We have to go back and check.
Yeah, let me scroll.
It'll be pretty close.
Yeah. Okay, there's one that's 1 hour and 28 minutes. It's not that one. That's the OCIC edition, I guess. No. It was 3 minutes and 4 seconds, that entire episode with Yakko. So
we can still make it. We can still cut it under right now.
Yeah, look, we could, but obviously, well, not obviously, but today that isn't the only thing we're going to focus on, because we're also going to use this as a bit of a cheat episode, because again, we're not going to talk about my stuff. Instead, we're just going to talk about the stuff that we've missed. So for one, PJCS, which we didn't get to talk about last week, and then also, I guess we'll catch up on the YouTube comments, because we've missed that as well. So yeah, this is catch up week.
It is catch up week. It is a little bit of a mini episode. So, if we put the 3 hour episode and this mini episode together, then it's and divided by 2, it's a normal length of, a G'day Battlers. G'dad.
G'day Battlers. Well, look,
we can bring that for the Dads at PvP episode.
It'll come eventually, I guess. Look, my thought is that this is probably going to be the shortest episode in quite some time. So if you're still trying to catch up, you're scrambling, you haven't had the time to watch that 3 hour episode, first of all, I don't know why you're watching this one first, but second of all, you've got time. We'll leave you some time to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess let's get into PJCS.
PJCS. So PJCS. Now, Steve, tell me how many people qualify in Japan for Worlds with PJCS?
16 people.
16. So it goes in tell me from the start, how do you qualify with PJCS? Because it is a bit of a gauntlet, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if this is 100% correct. I thought this was correct, but I'm pretty sure that PJCS is only the final tournament. Like, that's the name of that final tournament. It's not the whole, circuit for Japan. So Japan does have a multi-stage system where first you have to win a lottery to get access to enter a tournament at sort of Pokemon centers around Japan, where they play best of one. And, the winner, I believe, I could be wrong on this. I'm not a super expert, but I think that the winner of these tournaments throughout the season, I guess, get an invite to PJCS.
Right.
And then at PJCS, they play a little bit more of a classic best of 3. They do show their teams of 6, but it is actually blind movesets. They do not reveal movesets. It's closed team sheet, just like the olden days. They also actually play... Well, yeah, it's like the Sylph days, back when I was number 2 in the world and stuff.
Yes, that.
You remember that from 5 minutes ago.
I do.
Yeah. That's why we've put it in the Steve episode, obviously.
I see.
So it all comes together. This is all pre-planned, for sure.
It's no longer in your Twitter bio. Your X bio is gone.
That's true. I mean, look, Sylph is dead, man. If you're carrying around Sylph in your Twitter banner, you must have done something pretty good, or otherwise... Or maybe
all right, RIP to those people that still have it in their Twitter banner or Twitter bio.
Look, obviously, I was the biggest fan of Sylph Arena in the world, but at some point, it's like more people are going to be wondering what that means than knowing
over time. Yes,
I keep sort of seeing people with Sylph Arena Legend season 2, and I'm like, how many people around these days actually know what that means? Like I feel like we've sort of lost the plot a little bit on that front. But
I know we're on a tangent at the moment, but I've been very much thoroughly enjoying Wodarge's Twitter comments. I'm like, oh, who did he mention the other day? It's like, new players won't know this guy.
I didn't see it, actually. I do like Wodarge's tweets, but I didn't see that.
It was paying to homage to people that have been around for a while. And,
Wanko.
Yes. Yeah. And said a few other things that I was like, oh yeah, the new players would have no idea.
Yeah. But if you if you're a regional champion or a world champion or something, then it's like happy days. Like that. I mean, that still gets brought up in broadcast and whatnot. The last time that someone's brought up in a broadcast of any kind, they were good in Sylph once. I don't know. It doesn't happen very often, I guess. But anyway,
I think I did bring it up in Melbourne once.
Oh, really?
I think Melbourne Regional. There was someone that was playing that I was like, oh yeah, they're quite well known in the grassroots tournaments. Yeah.
The grassroots tournaments.
What do I do within a bloom?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I get the... Oh, he came top 6 at Sydney. Some people brag about that for years.
Yeah.
And he stole my playmate.
Yeah, I'm aware. I am aware.
Tell you what, I'm glad that he hasn't qualified for Worlds this year, because otherwise we'd have to interview him on the podcast, and that's the last thing we want.
I believe that Steve had stipulations to run this podcast, and one of them was never have Inner Bloom on.
That's the only one. It was no Inner Bloom and red M&Ms. That's all we're... I just want to get that red dye 242 in me. That's all we're looking for. But with that said, anyway, PJCS.
So we had the very large tournament. I believe for Go, it was only Sunday. I think PJCS went over the weekend. It had Unite, it had VG, it had TCG, and Go was all in one day on the Sunday. I believe you were streaming at this event, Steve.
Yeah, I was just, watch partying it, very unofficial, just because, they do actually have a broadcast, which is the only broadcast in all of Asia for their actual championship series for actually qualifying for Worlds. Yeah. No other region gets the chance. Japan, it's in the same venue as the World Championships from Yokohama. A very cool event, all broadcasted on stage, yada, yada, yada. Very cool. And so I just did the English community stream, and not community stream. That makes it more official than it is. Just watch party. Yeah. And so we had a few guys come on, Alan, Icelandic Lapras, Magma Man, to do some guest casting. But yeah, it was a very long day. I guess it was over 9 hours. Which the format of PJCS is that it's a Swiss bracket, so they played 6 rounds of Swiss, and then. From the Swiss, the top 16 players in Swiss qualify for Worlds straight away, job done, happy days. And then the top 8 go on to a single elimination bracket to sort of keep playing for, prizes, travel award, that sort of thing. And to become, the best player in Japan. So it's a little bit weird in that sense, in that Worlds is essentially decided by that 6 rounds of Swiss. And so, and we get 16 players from Japan qualified for Worlds as a result.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like, Swiss has less pressure. However, I think when it's this stacked, like one loss and you're just out of that top 16 pretty quickly.
Well, I guess the way it played out was that in that top 16, we had one or three players that were 6-0. So three players that had not dropped a set.
Mm-hmm.
And then, hang on, quick maths, 12 people that went 5-1. So if you went 5-1, you were guaranteed qualification. And then one lucky person was able to clinch in with a 4-2 result and qualify for Worlds.
Yeah.
So
on percentage, I believe, because there was quite a few on 4-2.
So, yeah, a lot. a lot.
Yeah.
So
it feels very Tom. It feels on very the one, like dice roll.
Yes, but also like 15, like this is just sort of the one lucky ticket, right? Like 15 people went through and they didn't lose more than one battle or one match, which is, I guess, equivalent to the double elim system in a way that we have, because, you know, you lose twice, you're out. One guy just happened to lose twice and still cut his way through. And so there was a very interesting meta, and it was a very, as Japan always is, it was very different to what we tend to see in other regions. Sizzle was really big. There were a lot of Greninjas running around. There was a Lantern in the top 4, I think I want to say. Actually, I'm actually re-looking. Lantern came third in this tournament, which is crazy. Obviously, Shadow Dragonite. There's always Shadow Dragonite in Japanese tournaments. That's just apparently, like, I think that's a rule.
It's a signature,
and then, it seems like it. And then sort of dropped a lot of the other Pokemon that were maybe a super big NAIC, I guess, replacing with Sizzle. It's like Diggersby. There's one Diggersby in the top 8, I think, which is pretty crazy. And Dedenne. How many Dedenne are in the top 8?
It rhymes with hero.
Yeah, it does seem that there are 0 Dedenne in the top 8, which is pretty crazy. The only electric presence was sort of coming in from 2 Unova Stunfisk that were able to get in there. So cool meta to watch, though. Unfortunately, like, you know, the way that it ran in the single elim, they didn't stream like every match. Because it was a 1-day event. It would be insane if they did, to be honest with you. It was already over 9 hours. But one of the battlers that is really unfortunate that we didn't get to see was running a Komo with Clanging Scales. And I just don't think they were on stream once, which is unfortunate. So
Watagashi 236 was running the newly made Clanging Scales Komo, which would have been cool. Because usual tournaments in the Play Pokemon circuit outside of Japan, if it is a new move, that you do have to have a an embargo period, like basically a week that you can't use it. It will be available. 2 weeks, and then on the following Tuesday that it would be released. So the fact that this was literally probably made that the day before, Community Day being on the Saturday and their tournament being on the Sunday. So I don't know how they registered. Like Saturday night, 8 p.m. go, this is the best one. I've got to evolve it. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, look,
pretty cool.
They had to have had their team prepared beforehand. Like surely they knew they were running Clanging Scales Komo. And then they, found the best. But we'll do a quick run through of all 16 qualifiers. We'll just sort of spin on that. Salted Koji 1 was able to win the tournament, and he went completely undefeated. So he was one of the 6-0 players in the Swiss rounds, and then was able to go, sweep through and win all 3 of the next single elim sets. And he was running a regular Primeape. Maybe it's not dead. Mandibuzz, Credilli, Azumarill, Unova Stunfisk, and Shadow Sizzle as well. And then we had Kento Sarunori in second, CAG MPW TPD, who came, I think he was one of the top 2 from last year. I'm actually now blanking. The other one was Ka San, who was also in the top 8.
Came 6, I believe.
Yeah, those 2 were the top 2 from last year. And then we also had Naomon Kichi in, I guess, equal third. Earth Colors 0907. Poke Moneymaker actually came in here and placed into the top 8, which
I know that guy.
This stage, I think we've talked about him before on the podcast a few times actually. I'm counting it. There's 3 times we've talked about him in the past. I mean, once when he did well in Perth when he came third, once when he won Melbourne, and the other time when he was on the registration list for Johannesburg and didn't attend. So great guy on that front. Really appreciate that one because clearly he's very good at this game. So unfortunately, the way that it seems to have played out is that even though Poke Moneymaker had an auto qualification from the sort of TPCI circuit, getting another auto qualification from Japan does not seem to have sort of carried down to anyone else. So he's just sort of burned an invite, I suppose. And it sort of depends how you want to look at it, whether he burned an invite from Japan or if he burned an invite from, like, I guess, Oceania or TPCI regions. You could probably more say TPCI regions because, like, Japan was expecting to get 16, they got 16. So maybe that's the way to look at it. But regardless, did really well there. Also, Watagashi, as you mentioned before, running that Jangmo. And then the last 8 that didn't have to play in the double elim rounds were Ichi One Show, 315, Kadunari 315, Dabide, GGST, Dogo Frussen, KSK Thug, Pokimichi, Kazu Kato Aho, and Ayasan Bo. And unfortunately, because I know one of the most popular battlers from Japan that a lot of people really do look for, Ishikawa Boy, placed in 18th, just barely outside of the top 16, which is pretty sad. But, you know, it is what it is. That's
even if it
really
cascaded, he would have just missed a still.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but, you know, that's kind of how Japan goes a little bit, unfortunately.
Which kind of, I suppose, like, if it was roles reversed, as in Pokemon Maker didn't win or didn't get the invite through a TPCI network, and let's say it was Ishikawa Boy instead, then I suppose like, you know, he would have qualified for that, and then if he missed out on that, he would have still been qualified. So but alas, it was not the case. so
wrong Japanese trainer, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, all right, well, yeah, that's sometimes unfortunately how the cookie crumbles. But yeah, some interesting teams that came across after NAIC. Obviously, you were there for NAIC. We have 3 hours talking about NAIC.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think were the biggest differences? I know we talked about Dedenne, I know we talked about Dragonite, but do you think that because of NAIC now we've got this preference for this Shadow Sizzle?
In my head, like, the answer to that question is yes. I feel like we are in Sizor mode. Very much. It feels like that is going to be a bigger. Well, like, let me put. I was going to say, okay, this was going to be wrong. What I was going to say is that Scizor is going to be a lot bigger in Worlds than it will be than it was at NAIC. However, what I actually mean is that if Worlds was played today, Scizor would be a lot bigger at Worlds than it was at NAIC. Yes. Obviously, like, you know, as we saw in the 2 weeks leading up to NAIC, the meta was just constantly changing, constantly developing. New Pokemon get thrown into the spotlight, a Pokemon to get thrown out to the trash. I don't want to play with you anymore. And so I'm sure that sort of thing is going to happen in the next, like, 7 weeks. We have until the World Championships. So I wouldn't go throwing around, oh yeah, this is definitely what we're going to see at Worlds. But to, you know, answer, I guess, the intent of your question, Scizor definitely on the up stocks. To say the least. So you're really going to need to prepare for that at the moment.
So we're investing in the Sizzles.
Well, it depends. You know, do you really want to invest at the peak? Maybe it's about to crash back down. I don't know. If you invested in 3 weeks ago, maybe it'd be really up right now. But who's to say?
Is it a bull or a bear market?
No one can predict the Sizzle market, unfortunately. If someone says they know, they're lying to you. So, but yeah, that was basically PJCS, I think.
Yeah. My favorite was that obviously the Shadow Dragonite, but it was right next to the Shadow Dragonite is a Galarian Weezing. So I was like,
I think that was kind of legit. I mean, it's wireless Ren Weezing to top 4 at NAIC. It's kind of he definitely showed that it was a very good pick, to say the least. So, you know, clearly some people are paying attention.
Yay. Go fairy type. Well, you know, in a clanging scales meta.
Watch out for that poison jab on that Como. Could get real scary real quick. But yeah, that's sort of the Play Pokemon section of the podcast done. Other than a quick note that locals are officially open for the 2026 season. I mean, we're recording this on, you know, July 1st Australia time, which
Happy New Year.
By now, happy new financial year. Yeah, welcome to the 2026 season, I guess, before Worlds is done. But to be honest with you, not a lot of locals planned over our way yet. So we'll see if we actually get much done before Worlds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know for my way in Perth that we have jammed packed in July purely because we know that at least 3, maybe 4 of the trainers in WA will be attending Worlds. So we wanted to get a lot of practice for them. There's a couple of cups. There's probably about 4 challenges. There's so many things happening in
I will
July.
say, you say at least 3. It actually sounds like it might be, as low as 1. I'm talking to them. They're kind of all like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're sort of thinking whether they're going to go to Worlds or not. So we'll find out.
Yep.
But from 1 to 4 battles from Perth.
They can practice. They can
Yeah,
practice. That's what the locals are for. Whether they make the trip over or not, it's up to them.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, obviously, Komodo is this sort of big new threat that we didn't really get to see in play at PJCS. But one place that I do know that you can see it, Debbie, is going to be the Clash of the Casters this weekend in week number 1, because this meta does actually allow Komodo, and I know there is at least one running around that will be for sure shown on stream.
I see.
But
if I knew that was the secret sauce, then I would have brought Komodo. How do I get on stream? Komodo.
Komodo. That's the instant route to streamability. Didn't work at PJCS, to be fair, but it'll definitely work at Clash of the Casters. So if you're not familiar, if you weren't tuning in last year where we ran a Clash of the Casters event, it's happening again. Every caster from the 2025 Play Pokemon season from all around the world, all coming into this one tournament, Open Great League, Play Pokemon rules, showing off the post-NAIC meta ready for the World Championships, getting a little bit of it's some showcase matches with some very, very strong trainers. And the first, it's going to be streamed in 2 weeks, 2 parts. The first one focusing on the first few rounds, and the second stream focusing really on those finals. And they are going to be happening, the first one this weekend for the Australians. It's not going to be good. It's very bad Australian time, so you might have to watch the VOD back. But it's going to be like 4 a.m. on Sunday Eastern time. That's going to be 2 a.m. Perth time for the first one, which is 2 p.m. ET on Saturday or 6 p.m. UTC. And then the next stream is 8 days after that. So for the realistic people that are going to watch it, it's 2 p.m. ET, 6 p.m. UTC, the same time, but on Sunday on the 13th of July. And for the Australians, again, that is going to be 4 a.m. on Monday for the East Coasters, 2 a.m. on Monday for the West. So see you guys in the VOD on YouTube, because that is where I'll upload it pretty quick. But yeah, on top of the casters, it's going to be all casted by just like last year, world champions, It's Axon, Dancing Rob, Emmy Weedle, and also a Sylph Arena world champion, because we've always got to give those Sylph accolades. I always do. Dunebug 97. And of course, Marto Galde going to be doing the cast as well. He was actually invited to play originally because he was on the NAIC casting roster. He was supposed to cast. And I just sort of left it up to him whether he wanted to play or not. He ended up not jumping in. And so I just asked, well, hey, want to cast? And he jumped in. So should be cool. But yeah, just a cheeky little plug thrown in there.
Yeah. I hope to, have some Marto moments that will come up.
Yeah. I will say Marto is only going to be casting the second week, so you've got to make it to the finals. So you've got to get into the top few rounds. So you've got, you can win. You can win. Got to get a few wins in. That's simple.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, anyway, there's that also happening this weekend and next weekend. And I mean, the only other thing to really just mention is GoFest. I mean, was there anything of note? Really? Not really. Not on my end.
Well, it depends if you got a bottle cap. Apparently, that was the thing.
Are we supposed to get bottle caps? Oh, wait. Wait, Debbie, did you get a bottle cap?
No.
Oh, I didn't get one either. Oh, we've got no content for this podcast.
We've got no content at all.
Oh, we're so dumb. We're so bad.
How do we talk about the tasks now? I have to do these tasks for the year. I could have got a rank 1 best buddy something with it instead.
Yeah, I could have made one of my shiny legendaries Ashundo. No, and I was going to use it so often in Master League. Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to know about that stuff, not here. We were not shelling out the cash. We're flying to too many regionals.
That's pretty much it. I played GoFest both days, and on the Saturday I played at Curtin University, where we had our community ambassador meetup, and then for about half the day, and then the other half I was at Kings Park. So I bumped into the PvP guys that were there, and one of the first questions that Adam asked me was like, "Oh, what are you spending your golden bottle cap on?" I'm just like, you think that I would pay $30+ for something that's so like, and he was just like, I could see Carmen just laughing in the background as well. So, and then the other boys were just like, yeah, we caved last night and bought it. I was like,
Yep.
it's like, no, we had the exact same thought, Debbie. We were like, oh no, that's way too much. And then come to crunch time, they all weak wheeled and bought it.
Yeah.
No, each to their own. Like I get it. There's a lot of FOMO, and if there's something that you really want, yeah, max it out.
Yeah, it's clearly just we're just the podcast with the strongest will on the internet. There's no other way to put it.
I wouldn't say I have the strongest will. You definitely have a stronger will than I do when it comes to not shilling out to our Niantic Scopely gods.
That might be true.
Yeah. I did tell Steve, like, you would be very proud of me. I did not enter in any Frigibax raids this year.
Yeah, big upgrade. Can I admit something to you, Debbie? I did a Frigibax raid.
That's okay.
Mostly because I was playing on my own for an hour and I had to do the raid tasks.
Yeah,
So
that's what I suspected. Yeah,
and I had the free passes because Jetta and Emma, she did gift me the GoFest ticket. So I was sort of, I had the 9 free passes and I was like, well, I can just burn one here on this Frigibax. And
yeah.
Actually, I did get a hundo Frigibax this weekend. So, I think it was out of like a task or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Look, orange passes, free game. I feel like orange passes, you can do what you want with them. When it comes to green ones onwards or blue, oh my gosh, imagine remoting. No one would do that, hey? No one would remote in for a Goomy raid. No.
That would be insane, especially when they know that it's going to be the Com Day the next June, right?
Yeah, no one would. Yeah. Is it hot in here?
Yeah, well, let's cool down with some YouTube comments, I suppose, because that's the other thing we've got to catch up on. Let's start back with the Durban episode, 2 episodes back, because we, didn't quite have
47.
time. Episode 47. So first of all, from Ann Emma herself, and by the way, thank you for supporting the channel on Patreon as well. Common PvP algorithm, living life 30,000 feet in the air. Totally stealing that phrase. Thank you. Love it. I thought it was a pretty sick phrase, to be fair. I was like, oh, dang, that's pretty good. I haven't been able to use it again, but it was good. It's a good line.
I feel like that needs to be a sticker just for you. Like, PvP Steve. And it's like...
Well, maybe that lifestyle is behind us. It's not behind us, but it's not going to be... we're not going to see a 2025 season anytime soon. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, let's see if that South Africa ship happens.
Could be
what's
sick.
Johannesburg again?
Could be pretty... If timing just magically works out, it would be so awesome. But anyway... she continues, why do I still get surprised upon hearing something got lost/stolen on a trip? Wait, Durban. Why did I lose/get stolen on Durban? Did I lose something? Maybe I'll keep reading.
Durban.
Agreed. Funny, it's definitely if you don't laugh, you'll cry situation. And props to you. You know how to remedy it. But dude, I'm already concerned about what is growing legs on your trip to NAIC. What did I lose in Durban? I'm sure that something...
You lost anything in Durban. You didn't bring, well... You had a poor charger and that, was too bulky to fit into the plugs. But besides that, was it the credit card? Like your bank card?
Oh, yeah. We talked about Auckland in that episode. You're right. It was the credit card. Yeah. Yeah. You were absolutely right. Whoops. So I didn't lose anything at Durban. I had issues getting home. But it was fine. It was fun. Oh, and it was getting 2, actually. Anyway, we talked about it in that episode. A Bamble also comments, I checked with Sarah, and she did confirm that it is the Josh and Debbie show in that order. Which
okay.
I thought about it more because I was in my head, I was like, that is that's the way it makes sense to sound. And so I was like, what are some other combos? And I was like, Bert and Ernie. Ben and Jerry's, and it's all like what the one syllable, then the two syllable. It just checks.
Oh.
It just sounds right
Wow,
to me.
you really thought about this.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think like, oh, is it just bias? Like, am I just inherently like, yeah, I want my name to be first? But I was sitting there like, I don't think so. I just think it sounds better. And I was like, it's the formula that apparently works everywhere. it's just how it goes.
So is this the Josh and Debbie show, or is that going to be another podcast that we released?
So, well, I guess. Oh, obviously, seeing as today is the Road to World Steve edition, I guess it'll have to wait.
Yeah.
I guess.
We can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, that's right.
Start the rebrand now.
Yeah. I think it'll work. I mean, we'll both actually have travel stories to talk about after Worlds, so it'll work out good, I think.
Yep.
Tristan also comments, Steve not liking Fly Bravebird on Galarian Moltres because it gets walled by Ufisk, more ancient power is also resisted. Whoopsies. But in all honesty, Bravebird hits hard enough. It's almost like a neutral move when single resisted. Yeah, I just got that one wrong. I just forgot. Like, I never liked using Galarian Moltres. I used it once in Buenos Aires because Nighttime Clasher just told me to use his team. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I had bad IVs and it lost matchups I should have won. And it wasn't, I didn't like it. If I'm being completely fair, it's not a Pokemon I've thought about a lot. But he does continue. Oh, go ahead.
No, I like Galarian Moltres if I had a good one. Like, I just feel like I need a bit more bulk on it. And all my ones that I've caught or have been traded to are just like, some of them are under 1,500 and some of them are not under 1,500, but it's just like, no, I just wish it was just a little bit better. I just haven't gone around to trading and asking for one.
Well, Debbie, couldn't you have just paid for the Galarian Bird ticket and got a new Galarian Bird for Great League?
Oh, no. I could have done that and paid $8 for a bird, a digital bird.
That might be terrible IVs and be completely useless compared to the ones you already have.
Alas. The risk.
Yeah, the risk. But Tristan does continue.
Gamble, though.
Yeah, that's a different story. This is the last comment on this episode 47. What's even more wild about the Hisuian Electrode is they weren't even running grass coverage. They had Swift Wild Charge, so not even that great into ground types. Which interesting, to be fair, because again, we didn't particularly Durban. Which European tournament were we talking about? Utrecht? I don't know. I can't remember. Time is a fickle structure that I've already lost the plot on.
No.
Alas, I remember it showing up in the graphic. But if Steve was wearing a Slowpoke onesie at Worlds, that would very likely increase his chances of appearing on stream. Just saying.
Was it Santiago?
No.
Santiago.
I didn't think so. I really thought it was Europe, but
maybe it was Utrecht then. Yeah, Utrecht was this episode. Yep.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, the Slowpoke onesie's already been ticked off, done, NAIC. But also, I say this so many times, and I will say it many more. As many times as this keeps getting brought up, I'm not going to get on stream at Worlds. If I'm on stream at Worlds, it's because we've recorded a segment. They're not putting me in the battle chair. Let's put it that way. But also, I don't believe Worlds was seeded last year. That's not really a good way. There's not really a good way of seeding the TPC players, which is true. I didn't think we said anything on the contrary because, I mean, I've always been pretty confident on that. But
yeah,
maybe we might have been speculating on how you would seed it if you tried. But yeah,
I may have said something in passing of being like, hey, you came second and third in a special event. So, once you're in World, you're not going to get kicked out straight away. You might get seeded. That's probably
right.
in reference to that.
Yeah, that does ring up.
Was in jest.
Although I am curious, attending any event in this next season, if my seeding will actually be good or not.
Hey, look, if you make it to Auckland, you might be seated well.
Could be interesting. We'll see. But that brings us to the comments on the latest episode 48, the NAIC Super Power 3 hours, which we might have to, because it's only been a few days, like it's only been 5 days since that episode was released, we might have to catch up on some more comments in the next episode if they're left after now, but we'll cover the ones that are there at the moment at least. Wade, our goat, drops 3 hours, my podcasting goats. Love you, Wade. There's a lot of support for the 3 hour length. There's a lot of support.
Yeah. What's wrong with you guys?
No. Debbie, I learned this from Conan. You have to pretend this is the greatest show in the world.
You're welcome then. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. If only it was 4 hours, right, guys? I mean,
Yep.
alas.
That's why we got the bonus episode.
That's right. I mean, it's been less than a week and we're already recording again. I mean, when's the last time this has happened? It's been a long time. We have a lot to talk about. We had a lot to fit in. So we really tried to get this on the road so we could keep going down the different road to worlds with the other trainers from the Oceanic region. But also got a comment from Hawk Aussie. Man, it's a movie. It's like Avengers Endgame, which he commented and then took a few days to watch the episode and then came back and continued.
I love that.
Okay, now that you say that, yeah, I can see Ashton Ash being the Robin to Batman Steve. Or is that the other way around in a plot twist? I think it's the other way around, if anything. Batman's having a lot more success than old Robin. But Ashton Ash definitely the star of the show, to be fair, for sure. Man, Steve being a celebrity when it wasn't even a Pokemon Go player that said it. I mean, clearly he was a Pokemon Go player, but yeah, he was just a VG guy that accosted me while I was walking down the street. Damn, so we missed out on a potential cameo on an Aussie recap for the NAIC entrance, and it won't make sense if it's the first regional of the new season.
I think he thinks that was the segment that was recorded, but I believe it was not.
Oh, yeah, it actually
he's
wasn't.
probably thinks
it's a fair guess.
Yeah, a guess from last time you did a segment at Worlds. But
I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast or not. But this is like he's closer than he thinks. If I didn't mention it, I feel like I might have. I've said it to someone. But the original plan that Butters was hoping to do was that we would do an Aussie recap for the NAIC entrance. So I think I actually might have said that. So I think that might be what he's referring to. He continues, what? So you were saying that They Love Jai is an Alolan Ninetales in spirit and just Pokemon exposing it. I mean, it was pretty funny. So funny.
A shadow one.
Shadow one, for sure. And he finishes, what the fudge? 35 AUD for just pasta. Please tell me there was more than just pasta. There was not more than just pasta.
Yeah, let's move on from that. That's too sad.
Yep. All right.
You know what you can get for that? A bottle cap.
Wow. Yeah. But hey, I got to temporarily fill my tummy. Yum for some subpar plain spaghetti.
You needed the food.
And a good time with friends. Isn't that what really matters? Isn't that what all the money in the world is worth? God, I hope so. But last commenter, Ann Emma, comment for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. For the podcast, which is going to keep me entertained to and from work today. It was pretty long. She got a rail replacement bus for part of my journey home. So this 3-hour episode works out perfectly. And I feel you on that one for sure. Yikes.
What's that like?
Oh my gosh. Look, at least we have trains. It's so much better than the US in general. But man, it's unfortunate. But Debbie, Melbourne has the soya chai latte and almond croissant, which is the Debbie Pebble travel staple. So surely you'd change at Melbourne for the Auckland trip. I mean, there's a point.
Nah, it's okay. Nah. It's okay. If it saves me like 4 hours of traveling, then I'll go direct. If it was like slight, like if it's affordable and only a little bit of a difference, then yeah, I'd rather just get straight there. Not faff around. As much as the soy chai and the almond croissant is basically to reward myself for having a transit. Just like, when you treat yourself like, oh, I've been really good today. I'm gonna have a little snacky. That's it. Just when I sip it, I'm like num num num.
Can't relate. I guess it's my iron will.
Again, but I don't know. Mine's not that strong.
Strong enough for a bottle cap, I guess. But she made Debbie and the Pebbles World Tour, which would be so sick. But alas. Lordy, you did get a mega grumpy... Yeah, sponsors when. Come on, guys. You did get a mega grumpy border control officer. You can get some really nice ones for absolute Huns, but a solid chunk are very grumpy. Man, did not like me at all. I had fun.
Saw
At
your
least
face and was like, "You trouble."
one of us is enjoying the interaction. Let's put it that way. She also mentions that Anne Lovell always is a very good egg. We love that girl in this house.
True.
Preach. And I think you mentioned it on a stream on the Purple website, but not on the pod. Re the creator pass and competing. Does mean no Debbie and Steve content creator Pokemon Center video, which is big sad because we love a merch shop in this house. I mean, like as a actually no, because I feel like competitors don't even get a guaranteed Pokemon Center slot this time.
Look, I'm just gonna put it
reading?
out there. Like, don't have expectations of that happening. Like
Yeah, no.
for either of us. Like if and a small if we get to the merch shop, then yeah, I'll do a quick recording. But like that's a big if. I think yeah, I have low expectations this year in regards to that. So
Yeah. I haven't really thought about what my content is going to be from Worlds this year.
Are you going to actually create content because you're competing?
I mean, like maybe. I haven't really thought about it. Like I'll probably make some sort of well, depending on how it goes and depending on how I feel, like I might make sort of a Wolfie style recap of my O2. But then
are you going to go with all normal types?
I'm not going to go that far. Although he's so incredible in that he can make that as a concept, and then I don't know if you like anyone that's watched the video, and I guess spoilers, but he does pretty well. It's just ridiculous that he can make that work. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I think going into Worlds. Then it says 2 hours 32 minutes for that clip of Steve saying he's not going to attend NAIC next year.
Thanks, Anna.
Noted.
For
the record, I have contacted TPCI just to be like, hey, just checking. Like, could I use it for like a different IC instead of LAIC? They haven't got back to me yet. So, and final comment: who would say no to extra podcast content? 1, I'll fight him. 2, I could never. Another grand episode beats. Thank you, Anne, and thank you everyone for watching. Not only the 3-hour super episode, but this sham of a 43-minute episode that is technically our start of the Road to World Series. So I guess subscribe on all of their socials at G'day Battlers on YouTube and all the other regular podcast joints for the rest of the series, because we've got a bunch of other sick Aussies to talk to about their sort of seasons and recaps, because honestly, like Debbie, we haven't even talked to any of the champions. We didn't, for various reasons. Each regional, something went wrong that meant that we didn't talk to the champ. So we'll see how it ends up going, but yeah.
And look, and that's why we have them all squeezed into the last month before August.
Why. I thought we were just trying to avoid the situation.
No, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. No, on the podcast we can talk about it later. Okay.
Oh, okay. No problems at all. Let's get Yakko back on. But
it's really Yakko's takeover. We're just taking a step back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been too long since he's been on the podcast. We probably do need to get him back. But I think we've hit on everything we planned to hit on today. Again, planned to be a bit of a shorter one. Anything from you that we didn't get to?
No. I hope everyone has a chance to clean out their storage after Go Fest. That's pretty much it. We're going into July. There's Community Day. There's Eevee. Oh, Eeveelutions, like Community Day Classic coming up. No.
I was like, what are you on about? There is not a single Community Day Classic that I've even paid attention to.
There's nothing coming up. Go Fest is done, and then just whatever the next thing is. And Steve needs to figure out whether it's Little Cup remix or not Little Cup remix.
Oh my gosh, that's a complaint and a half. I mean, Niantic Scopely does it again and just screws us over on the GBL front. In the game it says Little Cup remix. On the blog it says just Little Element Cup, no remix. There's no list of bands or anything. I put out a Mana Simplified infographic and someone commented being like, you idiot, it's remix, you dummy dumb. Look at the schedule, you loser. And I was like, oh, but look at the blog. There's a screenshot of the blog in the video. It said, I thought I could trust that blog. Clearly that was really dumb of me, but I don't know.
I don't think I trust anything.
I just wish that they would consider PvP a priority, but well. Not the game we play, alas. Alas. Anyway, on that happy note.
Well,
Good luck to Steeeeeeeeve7 at Worlds. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
yeah, good luck, Steve. Get your preps and your battles ready. Practice hard. Good luck. All the Aussies will support you on your
Yep.
battles
Yep.
at Anaheim, and yeah,
Both of them.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're done.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.